We are going to get started. This is a regularly scheduled, called and convened Greer City Council meeting this evening, December the 10th, 2024. This will be our only meeting in December, so season's greetings. We thank you for your attendance tonight and hope that you have a good holiday and a happy new year, and we'll see you the first of the year as we resume our regular business and meetings at that point in time. Having called the meeting to order, I would like to ask Councilwoman Judy Albert, if she would, to lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance, followed by an invocation for council this evening. You can stand to join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pray for the council. Dear Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this day that you've given us. We thank you for keeping us safe. We pray that you'll be with those that are out working in the rain this evening. And we pray, dear Lord, for those that were affected by Hurricane Helena that are still going through some trying times in western North Carolina and other parts. And I'm sure this rain is really affecting them. So I pray for your guidance and direction. Be with us this evening, I pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Council, we have two members of the community that would wish to speak in public forum this evening. Public forum is a time that we set aside for comments to be made to the council. This is a time that we set aside for items that are on the agenda to make reference to. And so tonight we have two that are appearing before us. Ms. Becky McLaughlin is our first speaker. Ms. McLaughlin, there's only two people to speak tonight, so if you'll only be mindful of the time, then we won't have any restrictions on that. The podium is yours as you get to the podium, if you would. If you'll give your name and address as a matter of record, the floor is yours.
I am Becky McLaughlin. I live at 208 Lindbergh Court in Greer. I was here about a month ago, and we all knew that the dam was about to break as far as the serenity and the peaceful existence of our neighborhoods, which are south of BMW on Brockman McClyman. A quick review of what I had to say at that time. 435 home sites have been approved in the last 3 or 4 years within a quarter to a half mile of my home. We added 250 more that I forgot to count, which were the townhouses and apartments that are on the curve of Abner Creek approaching the hospital. 100 more east on Abner Creek off of Kist and Mayfield. And those are just home sites. Almost 800 houses or 1,600 cars that are going to pass through a four-way stop. And no provisions have been made for improvement in that intersection. That is until they're triggered by occupancy. So when we have those 2,000 cars going through there, then we'll tear it up and do something about it. And we found out recently that there was a fatality at the BMW, and the security guard said there are some 30,000 cars that enter and exit BMW every day. A whole lot of those go down Brockman McClyman. That's the way they go. That's where the road ends. And so here we go again with 4.6 acres. That only sounds like 46 townhouses. But I know last time that I was here, the mayor mentioned that the growth is guided by the UDO, and I didn't know it wasn't a math term, so had to look it up. And I remember seeing it in the news in Greenville, the citizenry seemed to be very upset about a UDO, so I thought I better get reading, and it's a lot of pages. So I will quote from the purpose and intent of the zoning regulation for my neighborhood and for others. And this is repeated over and over and over, so I won't read it but once. Provide regulations that discourage any use which, because of its character, would be a nuisance to the development of residences and would be detrimental to quiet residential nature of the areas included in this district. I don't need to explain that. That's a lot of cars, be a lot of nuisance, certainly fatalities. But as a former math teacher, I dug a little deeper, and in the UDO, the regulations that are meant to be changed tonight are lot density for suburban neighborhoods. The lot density is to be cut from 3,500 to 2,000 square feet, meaning the lot size for an attached home would be 48% smaller. In a traditional neighborhood, there would be no minimum lot size according to the UDO. For medium density, no medium lot size from 3,500 to 0. So I thought, what does that really mean for us? If an acre is 43,560 square feet, and we were about to put in, it was allowing for 240 on the last 24 acres that we approved. 240 townhomes would take up 41,000 of those 43,000 square feet. And double car driveway was going to take 640. So you see, if we put the maximum number, we can't get the maximum number on that acreage. Well, you could, but then you wouldn't have any room for roads. So the UDO is saying, well, let's make the density a little bit different because we're going to make the room for them way smaller. So we're going to have a whole lot more townhouses because now they don't get as much space. So that's the end of my math, and for that reason, I'm objecting to the UDO changes as well as the annexation for the new piece of property, which would also come in as traditional neighborhood. And I might add something else that I said before. This is certainly not traditional. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, ma'am. Our second speaker this evening is Greer Fan Little. And again, if you will state your name and address for just as a matter of record, we would appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you.
My name is Greer Fan Little. My address is 132 Fox Farm Way, Greer, C29651. First off, just really quick about my background. So I'm an immigrant, and I've been living in South Carolina for about 6 years, and I've been living in Greer for about 5 years. This is my new adopted home. And I think I can speak for a lot of people here that I've seen the change, the development of Greer City and the surrounding areas. Even though I don't live in the city limits, but I get to benefit and enjoy the city as well and all the services. So tonight, mostly, I just want to say thank you for the work you put in, because I know that public service is not an easy job. It comes with a lot of burden, a lot of responsibility, but a lot of things that you probably don't want to have in your life. That's added stress. And on that note, I also know that we have some county council members with us tonight, and that's one of the reasons I'm here, because I used to go to county council meeting trying to be more familiar with the civic affairs of state, county, and city. So I want to really recognize the 3 county councilmen, and I think I might have jumped the gun because they will have their time and ceremony after, but just want to thank you, the mayor, the city administrator, the municipal clerk, and the city council members. I want to make sure I get everybody, and to thank you for your public service, including the county councilman. And of course, as a citizen myself, I know that for people to take time in this pouring to come here, that's commitment too. So I think I appreciate everybody being here. Merry Christmas. Let me make sure I covered everything. So I usually am good at speaking, but I want to make sure. And I do work sometimes in political campaigns, so I've seen a lot of things that are not so pleasant. So I hope we can get through a nice meeting with holiday spirit and really trying to work together and make our society better. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Council, with that, then we will move to minutes of the council meeting. You have in your packet this evening the minutes from November the 26th, 2024. I'll entertain a motion that those be received.
So moved. Second.
And a second. Items of note for the clerk. Hearing none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Earwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Ms. Albert. Yes. Mayor Danner.
Yes. And indeed, we've got several special recognitions to do this evening, and I am going to ask the administrator if he would to join me here at the front as we recognize some anniversary dates for some of our employees, and we'll do that right now. As we do from time to time, this is a resolution. Thank you, sir. This is a resolution number 29-2024, resolution recognizing and commending City of Greer employees. Whereas the City of Greer endeavors to recognize and reward its dedicated and faithful employees, and whereas Ashley Cotty has served in the Building and Development Standards Department for 5 years, Patricia Sexton has served in the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department for 5 years. Travis Durham has served in the Public Services Department for 10 years. Gary Melton has served in the Public Services Department for 15 years. And Scott Rutgers has served in the Police Department for 15 years. Whereas these employees have served in a distinguished and professional manner, now be it therefore resolved that the City Council of the City of Greer, South Carolina, in a duly assembled meeting, wishes to officially recognize and commend these employees for the distinguished and dedicated service which they have performed. And be it further resolved that the City of Greer hereby rewards these dedicated employees with a certificate of appreciation and an administrative day off with pay approved this, the 10th day of December, 2024. And with that, if you would come forward as your name is called, we'll ask you to stay with us just a minute and get a picture. Travis Durham. Ashley Cotty. Gary Melton. All right, thank you, Greg. Van Little's still with us this evening, and I want to echo her remarks. This is a special time of year, and as we know, we have been through some elections here recently, and as is the case in some cases, we're changing some positions. recognize tonight, people that I have worked with over the years, including a number of years in one person's case, but certainly through the years, to identify those things that will help make Greer and the surrounding community a better place to live within its respective county, or counties as the case may be for Greer, and the state as well too. And you know, this is sometimes it's a bit of a thankless job, and so I felt that it would be appropriate for us to recognize some of those people who have invested their time and their efforts and those things that come along with the job to help make this a better area. And so I've got some plaques that I would like to give. And the first is going to Butch Irvin. Butch, if you'll join me up front, please. If you just look at the two of us, you know we go back a lot of years, don't we, Butch? They've been harder on you. Your hair's shorter tonight. How about that? You know, the three people that we're going to recognize tonight, we're giving the key to the city, which is a way for us to show our appreciation as a token of what they have done, and it is literally a token of what they have done. Because if I read Butch's resume, we'd be here for a while. Butch has been a stalwart supporter of the city of Greer, and we've been friends for a long time. We've served on a number of committees together. Butch has chaired the GPATS for as long as I can remember, off and on, and served in state offices as well too, and is a real friend of the city. And so I would like to present this to Butch tonight. It says, "Let this key to the city of Greer serve as a token of appreciation to Butch Irvin for his service to the city of Greer as a member of the Greenville County Council and as a champion of projects to enhance economic development in the city of Greer and quality of life for its residents. His leadership, vision, and dedication to core values will forever be remembered for helping to ensure the welfare and prosperity of the city of Greer." Please give Butch Irvin another round of applause.
Thank you very much. I think you may have served in the city of Greer longer than I served on county council. But I've served with the mayor on the Appalachian Council of Governments Board at GPATS, as he mentioned, and always been available to help with whatever you need done to help Greer move forward. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Chris Harrison, if you'll come up, please, sir. Chris and I were actually neighbors for a while. We lived in downtown area, and Chris moved a little further out, and so Chris and I have known each other for quite some time. And I can tell you right now that while he may not live inside the city limits, there's not a bigger cheerleader anywhere around the city of Greer. Chris and his family support this community in every way, and his service with the county council was always a delight for us. He supported us in a lot of different ways, and certainly in some of the ways that we just mentioned, economic development in particular, and some of the projects that we had there. And so, Chris, this is a key to the city that serves as a token of appreciation to Chris Harrison for his service to the city of Greer as a member of the Greenville County Council and as a champion of projects to enhance economic development in the city of Greer and quality of life for its residents. His creativity, collaboration, and committed connections to those he was elected to represent will forever be remembered for helping to ensure the welfare and prosperity of the city of Greer. Please give Chris Harrison a round of applause.
Just bear with me.
Okay, the other way now.
I would like to say something real quick, if you don't mind. First off, thank you for this, it's an honor, and, as you mentioned, I'm a Greer guy. We moved out of the city limits, went to Riverside High School, met earlier, we started dating my wife now. So Greer is my home, it will always be my home, and I want to recognize again Butch and Mike, it's been a pleasure serving with you all, but, also I just want everybody very, clearly to understand the leadership y'all have in Greer is phenomenal. Mayor Danner, consider him a close friend, and he may or may not know this, well, he knows this part. I served on actually City of Greer Planning Commission years ago, and then I got into politics, again, whether he knows this or not. He was one of the very few people that I looked up to as a role model, mentor on how to lead, especially in this type of role. So he's been a big inspiration to me, so I appreciate all you've done. City Council, y'all do a phenomenal job. I'm telling you, Greer has the best leadership. Andy, you're awesome. So everything y'all are doing here is phenomenal. And so while I may not be on county council anymore, anything in the city of Greer, I'm happy to go to bat for the city because it's a great place. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Mike Barnes, join me up here, Mike. I'm not gonna let it roll. I have known Mike since 1978. You and I were in similar businesses when we met at that point in time, and so we have known each other a long time. We're gonna give you a key to the city tonight, and I think it's appropriate for all you've done for the city and for the surrounding area, the area that you represented here. I know that it's not been the easiest job over the last several years. You and I have spent a lot of time on the phone about that. And so you kept your nose to the grindstone and your eye on what you thought was right and best for the county and for the city. And so I want to award you tonight with this key to the city that serves as a token of appreciation to you, Mike Barnes, for your service to the city of Greer as a member of the Greenville County Council and as a champion of projects to enhance economic development in the city of Greer and the quality of life for its residents. Born, raised, and self-made in Greer, his commitment to family and community will forever be remembered for helping to ensure the welfare and prosperity of the city of Greer. Please join me in a big round of applause.
So one thing, we got a great mayor. I'm proud to be from Greer, lived in Greer all my life, and I respect y'all, respect y'all's decisions, and I'm here for you, whatever I can do to help you. And thank y'all for what y'all have done for Greer, to make it a place for people to raise a family and live.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, gentlemen. We do appreciate it sincerely. With that, then, let's move to the administrator's report. Mr. Merriman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council. Real quick, the only thing I want to bring up this evening is just an update on the debris pickup as far as where we stand today. I want to thank Keith Choate, who's our risk manager, and Katrina for staying on top of these numbers for us, along with Travis. I know he's left, but he's been integral in ensuring that we get these streets cleaned up and working with our partners, both at the county and at the state level. But as of now, on the Greenville County side of Greer, the state has picked up somewhere in the neighborhood of 21 to 22,000 cubic yards of debris, and the Spartanburg side of the city has seen 9 to 10,000 cubic yards of debris removed. Both sides are expected to be completed by mid-January. We will continue to update via social media any and all updates relative to this. But I do want to remind everybody, if you've got debris, it needs to be out there by January 1st. I would encourage everybody to take advantage of passing trucks if they're coming along, because you may get a second pass. But with that, Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Council, we have several appointments to consider this evening. We'll start with the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals. Gwen Harvey's term expires 12/31/2024, and Keith Flynn's term expires 12/31/2024. Staff has indicated that both of those would like to continue on the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals. I'll entertain a motion. Let's do this individually just to stay on track here, to make a motion for Ms. Harvey.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none. Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Miss Albert. Yes. Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council and the Election Commission's Linda Parr's term expires 12/31/2024. Staff has indicated that she'd like to continue in that role. I'll entertain a motion to nominate Ms. Linda Parr.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to renominate Keith Flynn. How about that?
Oh, excuse me, we jumped over Mr. Flynn, didn't we? All right, let's move back then. Let's go back to the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals. Keith Flynn's term expires 12/31/2024. I'll entertain a motion to reappoint Keith Flynn to the Construction Board of Adjustments and Appeals.
We already have a motion, right? Second.
We'll go with that. With the
Okay.
second, floor's open at this point for questions or comments.
Keith was the hardest hitting fullback that ever played at Greer High.
Anything pertinent to discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan.
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Mr. Booker.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Miss Albert. Yes. Mayor Danner.
Yes. All right, council, let's try this again. Elections Commission, Linda Parr's term expires 12/31/2024. Staff has indicated Ms. Parr would like to continue to serve on the Elections Commission. I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Miss Albert. Yes. Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, the last item before us in regards to appointments to boards and commissions tonight is the Planning Commission. District 3, Mr. Ryan Acerno has resigned effective December 31st, 2024. His term was to expire 6/30/2025. Mr. Hopper, any new or additional information you want to provide us with this evening?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Acerno for his service over the past several years. He has been a dedicated and consistent member of Planning Commission, and certainly no easy job that they do in their role in the process. So certainly thank him. My understanding, he has young kids and a job and busy and ready to step away and take a breather, but I know he'll continue to serve in our community for years to come as well, but appreciate Mr. Acerno very much. I would like to go ahead and nominate Mr. Adam Toma, who currently serves as District 3 representative on the BZA. I'd like to nominate him to move to Planning Commission. My reasoning for that, Adam has been a very active member of our community after he and his family have moved to Greer several years ago. Local architect, has his offices here in the downtown footprint. Loves Greer. It's a home to him and his family. He has wife Janelle, a couple boys. They live in the Redcroft district, so it's very important to me and this planning commission member, as well as other members representing District 3 on other boards and commissions. He lives south of 85. We've got a lot going, as we already heard even tonight, we've got a lot going on down there, and it's very important that we have, to me, that we have this voice from south of 85. And so for these reasons, I think he'll do a great job for us as a member of Planning Commission. So I'd like to put forth Adam Toma.
Comes as a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Floor is open for discussion. Comments? Questions? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert.
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, let's move to items of old business this evening, first of which is the second and final reading of ordinance number 43-2024. This is an ordinance to change the zoning classification of a certain property owned by Keystone Construction Incorporated located at 2065 Country Club Road from suburban neighborhood to traditional neighborhood. Ms. Cotty joins us for this conversation. Any new or additional information, Ms. Cotty?
I do not have any updates for this case.
This is the case that we reheard at Councilman Arrowood's request. I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Floor is open for discussion. Comments? Questions? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Second item before us is the second and final reading of ordinance number 47-2024. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Greer Unified Development Ordinance. As you are aware, we have discussed this over the last two meetings. There were a couple of questions at the last meeting in regards to clarity, and I understand that our attorney has helped us with that. Ms. Cotty, you want to give us an overview of where we are now with ordinance number 47-2024?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I have two updates tonight. They're both related to the code enforcement section. We do have a small update to the fine section. The city attorney let us know that the base fine is the certain amount, and the amount that we had in there before was including court costs, and is that is the maximum amount they will pay, but it's not the zoning violation fee. So we did update that in the language on the screen. And then we do have a new definition for commercial vehicle. And there were a lot of red lines, so I just put the clean, fresh version. I believe it addresses some of Councilman Arrowood's concerns, is more streamlined, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Council, for the purpose of discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved. Second.
And a second. The floor is open.
Ms. Cotty, I know we discussed this some last time when we were hearing this, and it was raised by my friend constituent who was here tonight too. Can you just touch briefly again on the purpose of why we're doing what we're doing with the lot sizes? what's necessitated of that?
Sure. That's in the amendment topic for zoning, and we are requesting to update the minimum lot size for attached housing. Again, this is attached, so a townhome. We did an audit of all the townhome communities that are in the city of Greer, and that is the table on the right side of your screen. Again, it was very much an oversight. 3,500 is not a common standard for the industry or for any jurisdiction nearby. So for suburban neighborhood, we are recommending a minimum of 2,000 square feet. Again, kind of taking a look at the townhome communities in our community and seeing the ones that are in more suburban zoned areas of town. 2,000 seemed an appropriate lot size. We are recommending no minimum lot size for traditional neighborhood. However, I will say that the density cap is not changing. So we are proposing to let the density be the cap instead of the lot size. Just given kind of on the side, the variety of lot sizes, this just gives flexibility for some that want the lots just to be the actual townhome, and then the maintenance of driveways and common space and front yards be the HOA or property management. Again, happy to change that number if you guys have concerns about it. But it will not change the amount or the number of townhomes that could go on a site. The density will still remain a cap of 10 units per acre.
That's a helpful re-explanation for me. I can understand why someone just kind of hearing no minimum would kind of wonder that, but the density not changing really doesn't change anything as far as the density goes. What I'm hearing is that the proposed change goes to just the strategy and layout of the product within one product versus another, one project, that is. Is that a fair assessment, understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Others?
Again, the little piece down at the bottom, DU/AC, what do those stand for again?
Dwelling units per acre.
Gotcha.
And so that is the density.
Questions? Comments? Further discussion? Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Miss Albert,
No, based on the downsizing of the square footage and no minimum. Thank you.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, let's move to the second and final reading of ordinance number 48-2024. This is an ordinance to change the zoning classification of a certain property owned by professional offices at 106 West Church Street LLC, located at 106 West Church Street, from office professional to traditional neighborhood. Ms. Scotty, do you want to give us an update, please, ma'am, on that?
I do not have any new information for that case, but happy to answer any questions you may have.
With that, then, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Floor is open for discussion. Comments? Questions? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Miss Albert,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Council, let's move to items of new business, the first of which is the Stevens Field Site Improvement Bid Summary. I will dispense with reading this. You have it in front of you, and we are joined by Ms. Carcamo, our purchasing agent, for an explanation. Floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. We submitted a formal procurement for the Project 2025-003 Stevens Field site improvements. This project, as you see, includes stormwater improvements, two basketball courts, and also a patron parking lot. We received competitive bids from 6 companies, 2 of which were found non-responsive. Project team vetted the responsive bids and denoted that they would like to recommend the award to PNF Construction. So with that, I'll open if you have any questions on the bid summary or on the project overall.
For the purpose of discussion, council, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Floor is open.
PNF did the work out at the golf course.
That's correct.
I'm guessing we feel like they did a great job, correct?
The project team would like to move forward with them, yes.
Good.
Now, this is all new construction, correct? I mean, don't we have some damage out there?
This is, yes, we do have damage out there, but this does not touch that wall. No, sir.
Okay.
That's the outfield wall.
Right.
Yeah, this is separate.
Okay. And then this is funded by the,
American Rescue Plan Act. Yes, sir.
I know a few years back, we allocated a certain amount. Are we over that, within it?
So we are within it. We actually have 2 weeks now, 3 weeks to submit to the federal government all of our expenditures that are proposed. We have till 2026 to actually spend all the money. So, but we are right where we need to be with that.
And just to be clear, this is the outdoor basketball court replacement for Victor.
Yes, sir.
Park, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when do we think this is going to be completed? Do we have any idea?
That would be May is what PNF is projecting, starting February 3rd and finishing up.
This would be all of it, the parking lot, the ball courts, and the stormwater improvements.
Is the Legion hut still out there?
Yes.
Are we just working around it?
Yes, sir.
Up to it.
Gotcha.
Others?
all site plans have been submitted for permitting?
Questions? Comments? Discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Arrowood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Miss Albert,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, let's move to first reading of ordinance number 49-2024. This is an ordinance to provide for the annexation of certain property owned by Carolyn Hamby, AKA Carolyn B. Hamby, located at 770 Brockman McClyman Road by 100% petition and to establish a zoning classification for traditional neighborhood for said property. Ordinance number 49-2024 is an annexation and zoning request for one parcel located on Brockman McClyman Road in Spartanburg County near the intersection of Abner Creek Road. The parcel consists of 4.6 acres. Ms. Cotty.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As you've said, this is an annexation request for one parcel. It's a little under 5 acres. They are requesting to come in and zone a traditional neighborhood. They will be, if successful, they will be combining with the 5 properties to the south that you can see here in the light green that was recently rezoned to traditional neighborhood and not updated on the GIS quite yet. But you heard that rezoning case about 2 months ago. And again, this is an extension of that same neighborhood. They are going to Planning Advisory Committee later this week. They are proposing a mix of single-family detached and townhomes. And it's 166 units with 6.64 dwelling units per acre. Again, this is still in the preliminary phase. Planning Advisory Committee is considered a pre-submittal to site development plan. So certainly the layout unit number can change based on staff comments. So this is the current zoning map. Again, the properties to the south have recently been rezoned traditional neighborhood. This blank parcel across the street here was recently annexed in at traditional neighborhood, and then the properties to the north are zoned manufacturing and logistics, as well as across the street there is the fire station that's still located in the county. The future land use map calls for mixed employment, and this is a current street view of the site. They will have a public hearing with Planning Commission next Monday, the 16th, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
By show of hand, is the owner of the property or representative of the owner of property with us this evening? Thank you. Are you available for questions? Thank you. With that, then, I'll entertain a motion to receive for the purpose of discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Floor is open for questions.
Ms. Connie, the unit numbers, the number of units that you mentioned, is that for all of the properties combined?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. For the 25 acres total. So if they're successful, they're planning to combine with the 5 to the south that make up about 20 acres.
Got it.
So yes, that would be a total.
So at 4.6 times, what was the proposed or desired, at least at this point, their desired units per acre,
6.64. Yes, the maximum would be 10, but their proposed density is 6.64.
Is that similar to the Merritt site? The one,
I believe the density was pretty close. They were between 6.5 and 7 as well.
I think I remember having that conversation, and we shifted back closer to the 10, and then they said they were going to work with 6, and it was just because of some topography challenges and layout and stormwater and different things like that.
Yes.
Would you all like the opportunity to speak?
So like, like Ashley said, we're proposing roughly 6 to 7 units an acre here on this 4 to 5 acre parcel. It's about an additional 25 units, mix of townhomes and attached. Right now, the layout is showing about 30 to 40% townhomes, the remaining detached homes. With this parcel, I think we could create kind of a larger amenity set. We can add more detached homes and have a more cohesive community. Happy to share kind of some of the imagery we looked at, if you remember 2 months ago, some of the landscaping, the floor plans, our interior design, stuff like that that we typically produce. We do have kind of an update a little bit on the traffic study. It's been prepared and submitted to the city and DOT for comments. Those are kind of still in review right now. One thing we know is we're gonna have to, retain enough right of way on our parcel on the corner of Abner Creek and Brockman for whatever that DOT improvement requires, whether it's a roundabout or signalization or whatever they need.
As a matter of record, would you just state your name and company, please, sir?
Yes, Dave Craig with Material Capital Partners out of Charleston.
Questions?
And I'm sorry, I know at one time Ashley had mentioned 144 units. That's not going to be on this 4 acres, is that right?
No, so the total, if you combine the two parcels now, we're proposing 166 units. If it's just the 20 acres, it was, I think, 135. So the difference is, I think it's 25 to 30 units on this 5 acre parcel.
Others?
Just as a comment on traffic movement, the way that our state operates, whether you think it's a good idea, a bad idea, improvements generally aren't done until development happens. that's the long and short of it. If all of us remember when one of the very first annexations we made down there, the roads were cow paths almost. And since then, they've been improved for what DOT has said is appropriate. And hopefully, DOT is going to come back and say, this is what we're going to have to do to improve the intersection. We are at DOT's mercy because that is their roads and property.
Questions of the developer while we've got him, or anything directed to him other than comments?
Do we anticipate any changes to ingress, egress points?
No, it's still the entrance on Bootsy Drive and then one on Brockman McClyman.
Others? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Floor is open for discussion. Comments?
Ms. Cotty, I don't want to put you in a position to speculate. I'm genuinely not asking you to do that. But what, do you have anything to shed any light on improvements? What may happen? What's likely to happen?
At this point, I don't. DOT is currently reviewing it. Staff is also reviewing it. We've made it very clear that at the very least, they will need to reserve room for a potential roundabout and/or signal. And that it's very likely that either an improvement or at least a payment in lieu for a portion of an improvement will be required. But we're still in the very early phases of review at this point. Certainly would have an update by second reading.
So before second reading, we could have a better, even better, more granular.
Yes, sir. This one is a little tricky just because of the timing of the one across the street. They're probably going to have to go back and do a little bit of analysis to see what might or might happen if they took that development out, so that we would know whoever comes first. So it is a little tricky, but we will keep working with DOT and make sure that we get as much as we can.
Now, what's the property surrounding this piece we're talking about? What's going on with that? Isn't that one that's been before us before, and they were going to build single-family homes?
Yes, so the properties that you see in light green came before you guys about 2 months ago to rezone to traditional neighborhood. And at that time, they had said that they proposed a mix of townhome and detached, and that is still the current plan that's going to Planning Advisory Committee. This would just add 25 to 30 units to their neighborhood.
That's settled. I mean, that one's not up in dispute sale-wise or anything right now. Is that right? It's sold, and that's still the plans for the single-family dwellings there?
As far as I know, yes. I'm not sure if this piece would be contingent. I don't believe so. I think this would just be an extension.
Ms. Cotty, how does the fire station play into planning and thinking? I don't know. Do we get their input on the process? Are they a part of PAC?
You know, they're not, but we certainly could reach out to them. DOT takes into account, and I know they were very particular about where the ingress egress would be.
Our fire marshal's office is involved in PAC.
Oh, yes, sorry. Our fire will be on PAC, and they will have comments.
So what is the status of that agreement, Mr. Merriman? Are we still sharing a station there, or, I mean, there seems to be very little presence there in the times that I've been by there recently, but.
We have very minimal presence in that station. We do from time to time, but, and we've got a great working relationship with Pelham Batesville Fire Department, but we have not staffed an engine in there.
Do we know what their staffing level is at this point?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Council, discussion.
Mayor and Council, this corner we've talked about for almost 3 years in one form or another now. 2.5 years ago, we, in my estimation, made the right decision to not allow warehouses to go across from some residential neighborhoods there across Abner Creek. At the time, in talking to dozens and dozens of my constituents, they made it very clear, we know this is going to develop, this corner is going to develop, the other corner is going to develop. These property owners have a right to do so. And what they said they welcome is, a residential project or, a compatible use, in that vein. And so a couple months when this came to us, that's the main reason why I was supportive of this project on the corner, and optimism that we were going to get something done at the intersection there. I know we don't have to rehash over and over, the traffic, the backup, et cetera. I know that's not really even under our purview in a matter like this. I like the mix of single-family detached versus the townhome. I think the pictures that I remember even looks like a great product that will be very complimentary that way. As I mentioned on the other corner property, the Merritt property, subsequently, without an understanding and certainty of what's going to happen in the intersection, it's getting very hard for me to be supportive of adding more to the area right now for that reason. I know that's not a perfect approach, but again, I understand the uncertainty that some of the folks are voicing to me. I feel like they're reasonable in what they're sharing that way, and I'd really love to see with more certainty what's going to happen at the intersection before I can support adding anything else in this area.
Does that not beg the question, who gets to make the decision that we're basing our development, the growth of our city, on things that we have no control of, like the development of these roads? So if let's just, the Merritt property, let's assume that it develops up like it's proposed. And then, because we already know these roads, all the roads in the upstate, they're packed. And it triggers some sort of improvement. But without it, maybe there's no improvement. But you still have, the traffic is not all of the traffic is not from city residents, it's like they say. So that's where I have an issue with at some point, somebody decided to buy the first house down there. And so who is the one who says, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to allow anybody else. And I know you hear a lot, and we all do. But it's almost, if the Merritt property doesn't develop, then the intersection doesn't get done.
Your point is well made, Mr. Arrowood, and I want to be clear. And I think you know this. I believe that growth is a good thing in general. It doesn't come without its challenges, obviously. Growth is a good thing for our area. Has been a good thing for our community, as a general rule. This particular parcel, I'm supportive of it developing. I believe the property owner has a right to use their property. Absolutely. I think at the end of the day, it's not just our constituents that are in a frustrating position, but we're in a frustrating position to understand there are things that are outside of our control. I guess what I'm getting at tonight is I hear the folks that I serve, they don't care if it's DOT or us or who or what. They just know gosh, they're getting overwhelmed. And to your point, yes, there's all kinds of traffic that comes from 85 as a cut around. You know, you hear folks talk about the quarry trucks, you know, zooming up and down the street. Certainly Abner Creek is just its own major back and forth corridor, you know, between 101 and 14 there. And so I'm in no way unsupportive of development on this site. I'm just frustrated we can't get answers and some certainty, you know, that something can happen to that intersection at least concurrently with all this going on.
Yeah.
I think that's a reasonable hope that constituents would have.
I understand. It is ironic that even tonight on the way here, I was at Brushy Creek in Maine, and the traffic was just really backed up. And then one of the reasons is it takes a long time to make a left-hand turn because all of the traffic coming off of Cannon crossing over. And generally, that's related to a shift change at BMW, which, you know, it's just ironic that's, there's good with bad, I guess.
Yes, it is. Good comes with bad, absolutely, and bad comes with good.
Further discussion?
Ashley, has the DOT voiced any preference on whether they wanted a roundabout or signalized intersection?
They've indicated that a roundabout would probably be preferable, but they have expressed some concerns with right-of-way acquisition on the southern portion of the intersection.
Do we have any influence on DOT as far as like a roundabout versus a signaled intersection? I mean,
Certainly, we can express our preference.
well, what little bit I know about traffic is that as long as it keeps moving, it's better than having to stop.
Council, final call on number 49-2024. Questions? Comments? Further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Earwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
No.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Miss Albert,
No.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, last item of new business, thank you, Ms. Cuddy. Last item of new business this evening is the first reading of ordinance number 50-2024. I thought I had skipped over the report for a minute. As I saw you coming forward, I was panicking there for just a minute. First reading of ordinance number 50-2024, an ordinance to amend the City of Greer Code of Ordinance, Chapter 18, Businesses, Articles 8, Solicitors, Canvassers, and Peddlers, Section 18312 through Section 18313 of the Greer City Code of Ordinances. Mr. Klein joins us for this discussion. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Mayor, council members. Essentially, we're wanting to update two pieces with this, as we're looking to add the language solicitors, canvassers, and peddlers within this ordinance. Currently, throughout it just says peddlers, so we're looking to add those two pieces just to make it consistent with the other internal forms that we have within the city. And then the second piece is we are actually looking to add the ID card fee for the peddlers, and which I will add, this ID fee was already approved and is currently in the comprehensive fee schedule, but it's not in the ordinance, so we're looking to add that language. And essentially, those are the two pieces, and I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
For the purpose of further discussion, I'll entertain a motion to receive.
So move.
And a second. Floor is open for discussion.
When it comes to the ID card, what are those exactly? Do they?
Sure. So essentially, it's going to be a small 2x2 card in which it's going to have the individual's name, contact information, sort of idea of what it is that they're going to be selling, just some detail about them that they would be carrying on with them whenever they're going about their business.
But no City of Greer logo?
There will be a City of Greer logo, yes.
I was just thinking about this randomly. We got peddlers and canvassers. we got City of Greer logo on there, people may get the message that,
That it's being, okay, sure, I understand.
Others?
What defines a peddler?
Sure, so this is actually pulled from our website here, but it's any person who, resident or not traveling by foot, wagon, bicycle, any type of motor vehicle, or any type of conveyance going place to place, home, businesses or streets, public or private, who offers or attempts to offer for sale any items of goods, wares, and merchandise or service for present or future delivery, or any person selling any product on a temporary basis for any area outside a building within the city. And I will say, some of the common are anybody going around selling solar panels, pest control, alarm, internet companies. Those are kind of the bigger ones that we tend to see. Most common, I should say.
So for clarity, the last sentence or two there mentioned selling outside of a building?
Basis for any area outside a building within the city.
So Girl Scouts selling cookies in front of Lowe's need to get a card?
No, not, that would,
What about unnamed organizations that are selling donuts for some cause that, are they supposed to have them?
I think in this case, if it's charitable, Heather, do you want to, if it's charitable in this particular case, the answer is no, sir.
If it's what?
If it's charitable, the answer is no.
Churches, schools, charities.
No. That's right.
What about our, the sales at our farmer's market? How is that handled?
Sorry if you don't.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. They are not included in this ordinance. They are under a blanket business license.
Okay.
Thank you. Others? Comments? Questions? Further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Earwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Miss Albert. Yes. Mayor Danner.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Madam? With that, Council, that concludes our regular business this evening. We have one matter in executive session. I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn to executive session.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session to discuss a personnel matter pertaining to the city administrator as allowed by state statute, section 30-4-70A1.
Comes as a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Ms. Duncan?
Mr. Earwood,
Yes.
Mr. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Hopper,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Miss Albert. Mayor Danner.
Yes.